Now I'm just waiting for the bus here at Coolangatta, and it's not the one that's about to pop behind me, but it's the one just after, because it's not this one, but the one after should be a funky little Bustech MDI, which is one of my personal favourites because I think they just look hilarious. So I'm looking forward to showing you around. And as expected, here comes 462, one of a handful of Bustech MDIs that operate with Surfside bus lines. You may recall that in Bus Week 3, I actually caught a Surfside MDI, but this one here is operating with the Queensland division rather than their New South Wales one. Speaking of division, we're now coming past the Queensland border, which back on the 1st of September, when I filmed this video, was still closed to New South Wales. Sure, that Mercedes police car there is pretty cool, but I certainly do not miss closed state borders. The last MDI I reviewed was Surfside Bus 330, powered by a Cummins ISL. Today's MDI is instead powered by a Caterpillar C7. A few years back, CAT refocused their business on plant and machinery, so finding accurate information about their truck and bus engines is easier said than done. CAT's website says the C7 can produce up to 300 horsepower and is listed as a Euro 3A emissions equivalent. Whatever the numbers may be, they've got tons of power for a short, lightweight, aluminium-bodied bus, so let's have a listen to them now. Inside, this interior is typical Bustech, and you'll find their signature blue seat fabric, and with this one being an earlier 2008 model, it has bucket seats rather than the bench seats that became more common a few years later. You'll also find some pressed metal that has been glued on the back of the seats to try and reduce vandalism damage. Up the front, you may also notice that those hand grips are not the typical triangular design, but are instead made of clear plastic and are designed to be able to hold advertising flyers. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of these, but if advertising revenue can help reduce fares, I think on the whole it can be quite a positive step. One thing I have always found odd about the MDI is how the window line is poorly matched with the seats, particularly at the front of the bus. The first couple of rows basically have no view out the window. It's probably due to the fact that the larger XDI and VST have sloping floors, but the stepped floor on this bus does not match the Bustech window line well. Early Bustech products like this Surfside Mercedes 0405NH had a stepped floor, so everyone gets a good view out the window. This is such a shame because the MDI gets so much else right. And in a transport world where we rely so much on one size fits all, having a variety of sizes of vehicles is a good thing. Personally, I'd love to see more midi buses out and about on lower demand services, and short wheelbase vehicles are easier to manoeuvre around tight suburban streets than a typical route service bus. Many of these services would barely fill a midi bus to capacity, so their manoeuvrability should far outweigh any capacity issues. Anyway, since I don't get to decide what vehicles that operators choose to fill their fleets with, I think it's time to say thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. BusTech XDI review? Tick.